I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign.
Not missing, just mending. The Silent Revolution of Jungkook and Taehyung. July 2025. No headlines screamed. No dispatch raced to break the silence. Only stillness, thick, holy, and whole, hung over the K-pop galaxy like a curtain before a sacred play. Two names. Not vanished. Just rewritten in whispers, Jungkook and Taehyung. And in their quiet, a new kind of story began. Taehyung, the man who learned to vanish without leaving. They thought he would come back in gold. Instead, he came back in gray. Not dull. Not broken. Just real. Just human. The runway waited. The cameras blinked their synthetic hunger. HYBE's itinerary rattled with plans. But he turned it all down with a gentle bow. A crew member whispered that during a photo shoot, he stared at the sky for a full 5 minutes. When someone asked why, he softly answered, "Because no one ever claps for clouds, but they still move." He wasn't escaping fame. He was escaping expectation. Not quitting. Not retreating. Just exhaling for once. Jungkook, the boy who disappeared into the music. Somewhere in Los Angeles, under the blur of palm trees and smog-filtered sunsets, a studio light glows at odd hours. Inside, Jungkook is not creating a comeback. He's creating truth. No dance routines. No stylists. No choreographed emotions. Just raw vocals. Unfinished lyrics. And a piano that knows too much. A producer confessed off record. He sings like someone who's not trying to be heard, just trying to heal. He is no longer chasing the charts. He's chasing himself. And maybe in this exile he's finally home. HYBE's House of Mirrors. Officially, the company says, "We support our artists' choices." But insiders paint a shakier scene. Meetings without direction. Executives pacing. Backup plans drafted in invisible ink. Because how do you manage ghosts? How do you market silence? And how do you monetize a soul choosing stillness over spotlight? The army, still here but quieter now. No hashtags trend. But hearts still burn. Fans have stopped demanding answers. They've started writing poetry instead. One army wrote, "Taehyung is not lost. He's just walking slower than the rest of us now." Another posted, "Jungkook's not avoiding us. He's just learning to speak in keys instead of captions." This is not fanfare. This is faith. Not for an album. Not for a tour. But for two men who once carried the weight of a universe on their shoulders, and are now learning to just be. The gentle defiance. This isn't rebellion with fire. It's rebellion with rest. A refusal to be consumed. They are not fighting the industry. They are simply refusing to bleed for it anymore. Their decision to stop is louder than any encore. Their absence more intimate than any live stream. And this, perhaps, is the most radical act in modern K-pop. To stay soft in a system that only rewards spectacle. Echoes of each other. What's strange, what no one can explain, is how their silences seem to rhyme. When Taehyung disappears for weeks, Jungkook drops a wordless demo. When Jungkook is spotted alone at a gallery, Taehyung posts a blurred photo of moonlight on stone. There are no messages. No joint lives. No "we miss each other" captions. Yet something lingers. A tether. Not obvious. Not performative. But tender. Fans call it Taekook telepathy. But maybe it's not magic. Maybe it's just love, the kind that doesn't need stage lights to stay alive. What if this is the comeback? What if this silence is the performance? What if watching them pause is the most honest act we'll ever witness? Because legends don't always rise with music videos and Billboard charts. Sometimes they rise with nothing more than a breath and a choice. To live. To feel. To exist without being consumed. The stage without lights. There's a final scene no one saw coming. At a small theater in Seoul, someone played an unreleased instrumental. No vocals. Just piano. The name on the track list? Unknown. But fans swore the melody held both heartbreak and hope. And somewhere far away, in a field where no one knew his name, a tall man was seen humming that same melody, barefoot in the grass. And you? Maybe they're not waiting for applause anymore. Maybe they're waiting for something more honest. Like your quiet loyalty. Like your belief without proof. Like your love, even when they're not singing. Because when they closed the door behind them, they didn't lock it. They left it ajar. In case someone out there still knew how to listen. Not missing. Just mending. Not gone. Just growing. And perhaps they're closer than ever before. The garden doesn't bloom every day, but it never died. July fades into August. But this isn't just the changing of months. It's the slow turning of a page the world thought had already ended. And somewhere, between the silence of Seoul and the shadows of Los Angeles, two names continue to echo like a lullaby half-remembered. Kim Taehyung. Jungkook. Taehyung, the architect of his own time. He no longer wears time like a leash. There's a rhythm to his stillness now. Mornings filled with tea and sketchbooks. Afternoons lost in poems no one will ever read. Nights spent listening to jazz records like their old friends returning from war. Locals say he built a small garden behind the hill. Not for display. Just for breath. One gardener whispered. He talks to the plants. Like he's asking them how to grow without rushing. He has no calendar. No tour manager. Only the sky above and something ancient within. They say he painted a single phrase above his mirror. I am not behind. I am just no longer racing. This is Taehyung now. Not hiding. But choosing to be seen only by the wind. Jungkook, the sound of becoming. His house in LA remains unlisted. But the music leaks like light beneath a closed studio door. No lyrics. Just voice. As if the words don't matter anymore, only the ache between them. A music tech assistant claimed she heard him record the same chorus 50 times, never satisfied. When asked why, he reportedly murmured, "Because I'm not trying to get it right. I'm trying to feel what I couldn't before." He's not rushing an album. He's letting one find him. Rumors swirl of a collaboration with an indie poet. Of lyrics taken from unread journals. Of melodies inspired by Taehyung's old photography. Some say he's building an entire EP with no chorus. Just verses that breathe like open wounds. And it's not for us. It's for him. But maybe in the honesty of that we'll find something more real than any chart-topping hit. HYBE, the company learning how to wait. For the first time, HYBE has no timeline. No teasers. No schedules. No coming soon. Just absence, glaring, golden, undeniable. Sources say meetings now begin with a pause. A new department reportedly opened, artist healing and reflection. And behind closed doors, the word pause has replaced promotion. One exec anonymously admitted, "We thought we made stars. But they became humans again. And we don't know how to manage humans." Army, the fandom that chose to stay. No comebacks? Still here. No updates? Still waiting. But it's not desperation anymore. It's devotion evolved. Some fans light candles every 7th of the month, just to remind themselves. They're still breathing. So we still believe. Others write letters never sent, starting with, "I hope you're smiling today even if it's small." Fancams slowed down not out of boredom, but to catch every blink, every twitch of emotion that once felt missed. Because now they understand. You don't need noise to feel close. You just need truth. And maybe Jungkook and Taehyung's greatest gift wasn't music. It was permission to rest, to feel, to vanish and still be loved. Taekook, a language without names. Fans noticed again. When Taehyung posted a drawing of a forest, Jungkook uploaded a sound clip of rain. When Jungkook posted a lyric about forgiveness, Taehyung shared a blurred photo of a wilted flower held gently in his hand. Nothing obvious. But everything meaningful. One fan tweeted, "They're not interacting. They're resonating." And maybe that's what this was always meant to be. Not ship. Not label. Just a language. Built in silence. Spoken only by two. The world called them idols. But now they're just two men trying to keep something pure alive in a world that forgets how to be quiet. The story that refused to end. Maybe they will return. Maybe they won't. Maybe we will hear their voices again, brighter, wiser, slower. Or maybe their names will become stories we pass down, not as products but as parables. Because they taught us something no agency could package. That healing is louder than applause. That a pause can be a protest. That the stage was never the destination, just a detour. The final scene still unwritten. And now we wait. Not for content, but for completion. Jungkook, humming in a city that doesn't know him. Taehyung planting seeds in a soil untouched by spotlights. And us still listening. Still here. Not for the next single. Not for the next award. But for the moment they decide to speak again. Even if it's only with one note. One breath. One look. Because this was never just about music. It was about the men who dared to unlearn fame and become free. Legends don't retire. They transform. And maybe someday we'll tell future fans. We were there when they stopped singing for us and started singing for themselves. And in that silence, we found the truest sound of all.